eating snacks.
What it do? Snackers, snack S, and snack X's. It's your boy Gage. I'm here with Jokes and Sin, and it's time for a new episode of Spoiler Boys.
Spoiler Boys.
You know, slight delay. Episode 3 of Mandalorian, season 3. How you feeling?
Feel a little bit better. We went back to the old format.
Wait. We're in different places. I'm not so sure about this. Jokes, you're feeling better.
Feel a little bit better.
Sin, you're feeling lower.
I'm feeling slightly lower, yeah.
All right. Jokes, give it a grade.
I'm at an 8 for this one.
Sin?
I'm sitting probably around a 6.
Okay. I'm at like a 7.
Okay. 6, 7, 8. Okay.
Yeah, I'm at like a 7. Maybe an 8. But, you know, like... it does some cool stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I enjoyed the episode.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Okay. What don't you like about it, Sin? Let's get into it. Like, let's not, you know what I mean?
It's just
it's trash.
Nah, it's just after the last episode, I'm trying to figure out, okay, where's this season headed kind of deal.
Right.
And I'm feeling the same way after this episode. Like, okay, we had some cool chase moments, in it. We got Grogu learning the way of the Mandalorian, seeing people kind of adapt to him, like kind of welcome him into their, to their clique. And we see Bo-Katan kind of stepping up and kind of being like a leader kind of figure amongst them out there. But I'm still just wondering where are we landing at? I can't stop looking at the last episode. Just okay, what was the point of all this? And I got no answers for what happened in the last episode at all in this one.
Like what? Give me examples. Let's be specific. That's what we're here for. Spoil it, baby.
No, like everything with that happened on Coruscant last episode. There's no reference or to any of that this time around. And that's what I wanted to know this next episode. I wanted that last episode to make sense. And I got none of that, so I was disappointed. That's the biggest thing.
All right. So it's not that you don't like the episode. It's that the episode didn't answer.
Yeah, it didn't answer my questions. And with the last episode, my rating depends on like, okay, where are we going with this for that one? You know what I mean? So not having no answers for it is just like, okay, I'm still in limbo about that last episode. This episode did nothing to even shine a light on anything that happened in the last episode. I'm just still up in the air of where all this is headed. And that's the issue I'm having right now.
How many episodes are left, Joe?
Is it 8 episodes for the season, if I'm not mistaken?
That's a great question.
Let me see.
Here's where I'm at. We talked about it. We felt the same way at the end of the last episode, Sin, where I was just kind of like, I just don't know what they're doing. Like, I don't know where they're going with this. But I've been thinking.
8 episodes.
Okay.
We're at the halfway. We're at the halfway mark.
Okay. So we do have episodes left. I did say episode 3, right? This is
episode 4.
Episode 4.
This is episode 4. I apologize. So we're at the point now where, all right, now we have to hit the apex and we got to start coming down and actually hitting those things, right? Figuring out. So I think what I realized is that I might actually like that we don't know what they're doing. See, because for the first time in a very, very long time with Star Wars, period, we don't really know. Like, because to be honest, we don't really know what the point of any of this is. Like, why The Mandalorian is a show, even honestly, to begin with. And as they're doing certain things, like they're delving a little bit deeper into things that happened with Order 66. What other people are or were doing during that time frame, as we get some of those answers filled out. If you look at the history of Star Wars, once you get through the original trilogy, everything else, I mean, even in a way, the sequel trilogy, it just see like that was an opportunity they had, and they bogeyed that one. You know what I'm saying? But everything else they've told are stories that fall within timelines we're already familiar with. And I think I didn't like when we watched the last episode, like, all right, but what is the point of all of this? It's kind of where I was at. What is the point? But as I was watching this episode, I think I started to come to a place where I'm like, you know what? It actually might be kind of refreshing for a change to not know exactly where this is headed.
Agreed.
Or why they're going in the direction that they're going. Because everything else that they've done has been like, well, we know what happens at the end of it. It's like watching Titanic. Like, you already know what happens, right? So you're there for the moments that are there, but like, you know how it ends. You know what I'm saying? And the introduction of characters, the introduction of new characters, and actually getting an opportunity to focus on, you know, I don't know. I'm enjoying this better than Andor.
Yes.
We ultimately know where that leads. So, like, even with that story, we ultimately know where that leads. With this, now, that's kind of like, okay. It feels like when Marvel hit, like, the once they started, okay, these are other realities. Oh, now they can't do whatever they want. They're almost in a place with Star Wars, with this show specifically, where they can almost do whatever they want. They're in this weird, open, kind of uncharted territory that exists. And this episode, I feel like, gave me a little bit of a deeper look into some of the characters that seem like they're important, but aren't quote unquote the star of the show. Like, they're not the title characters. That we know matter in some way, but we don't know, I think, in a large way, what happens to them. Jokes, where are you? Why are you so high on this one?
I enjoyed this one. Like, I felt with this particular episode, they kind of went to like the old format where it was almost like a self-contained story almost within the one episode. So really it was just like a rescue mission that went from beginning to end. So I kind of like going back to that element for a second, but I'm kind of where you are. Like, I like not knowing where this is going, because like right now the whole, like, Grogu's memory is looking like it's starting to piece itself back together, and it's looking like that is going to end up truly potentially becoming something. Because beforehand it was like, oh, Grogu was unconscious most of everything that's going on, but clearly that's not the case.
Right.
That dude was definitely
away. Just blocked it out.
So having him starting to get his memories back makes me ponder and wonder more of why is it that they were trying to protect him so much? Like, because there was a ton of other younglings and things that did not make it at all. Anakin Skywalker. But there was just something special about Grogu. So that puts that element on him a little bit more, on why he was so important. But overall, this episode, it was enjoyable. A lot of good action that was in it. And then, of course, Bo-Katan close to the end, you know, she's at that place now where she's like, you know, I think I should stick to the way. Because, you know, she was the leader of the rescue party, trying to rescue the child that was picked up by the gigantic creature. And it seems like because they were able to recover a child, there's a lot more respect that she's gained back because of it as well too. So I'm really interested to see what they do with her. I think she's got a lot of potential that they can play into as well.
All right, let's kind of break this episode down. So this episode starts with them doing their combat training. Just out on the beach, out in the open, exposed to the monsters and the elements.
Well, I only want to wonder why they were shooting at the water with no targets.
I think,
I don't want to say strength training, but the young ones trying to hold guns.
I got everything else that was going on. Like, why are they just shooting across the water? Like, there's no targets they're hitting. Like, they're just shooting into nothingness.
Yeah, nah, it's dumb. But nah, you know what? I think in a way, I mean, I guess they could go out there and try to put some targets out there, but I think in a way, it's just them getting used, like getting the practice in of shooting and firing or whatever. And I think it's a way to try to ward off the same kind of attack that they had last time. They just out there minding their business. And Slim was like, "Oh, y'all think I won't come up on this beach?"
Well,
excuse me, let me make my way through here.
Yeah, I don't think that worked, man.
Yeah, so I think that maybe that was that. Listen, that's the best I can give you, Sin.
When I first saw it, it just hit me like, why
that's what you call stormtrooper
that?
training.
Okay.
Like that was them just, we need you to practice shooting the non-targets out here so you don't hit nothing when it comes time for.
Just bust off. If you just going, listen, if you're gonna just take target practice, if you're just shooting, learn how to get used to it, shoot the water. Last time
nobody gets hit,
yeah, you know what I mean? I don't know. But yeah, and Grogu's out there kind of just
playing with hermit crabs,
sitting among the rocks, and we are led to believe my man's out here working on his force skills. He's out here getting it, doing a little something. Apparently not, though. Apparently my man has that connection with the force and with creatures and just is out there chilling. And I'm gonna assume Mando didn't even know that those were like shelled crabs of some sort, because he was like, "Stop! All right, that's enough playing with your rocks." Okay, but those aren't rocks, dog.
No, those are creatures.
Yeah. Yeah, so like you get the idea that maybe he's out there practicing. Like you see everybody else working on their craft, so you get the idea. Okay, Grogu's out there working on his craft, because there isn't like, it's not like there's anybody to teach him now. You know what I mean? To show him how to do stuff or to work on stuff. And he gets snatched up so that he can begin his training. He needs to move from youngling to apprentice, apparently. So yeah, foundling, I'm sorry. So now you gotta fight, but it is what it is. Get strapped up. Now look, comments in.
just the whole scene. Like, we're gonna go with darts. Okay, that's how you pull that thing out. Like, y'all can put that thing on his little ass arm. Okay.
Oh, the dart joint took up his
whole arm.
The whole arm, bro.
And he had potato sack underneath it just to secure it there. Like, that's not gonna work, but okay.
But that was the first time they showed this downward shot. Looking down at him as he's looking up the little joint. That's the first time I seen his chainmail in a minute. I'm like, okay, he got his chainmail, all of that. So that's, and for real, hey, Sam, you gotta bounce. You all right? Yep. For real, like, I was like, oh, all right. He got a little armor on. I guess he's
getting ready. He's
ready to do something. and my man's like, how come he don't have a helmet? He's too young to speak the creed. So he's too young to wear a helmet. Well, and he's too young to fight. You don't open your mouth and say nothing, Slim, if you don't know nothing.
I was like, okay.
Don't speak if you don't know. Shut your pie hole, little
This is going to be a lesson for you, it sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you the one about to learn something. He straight up puts the green splat on my man twice.
Like it's nothing.
He popped Grogu quick too.
Mando said,
listen,
man,
I
seen what you can do.
Don't embarrass me out here. Don't embarrass me out here.
Gabe, he just told him, like, yo, it's okay. Yeah. Like, it's okay. You know what I mean? Which again is, I think, sort of like a reassurance to us that, like, what he was doing when he was out there with the rocks wasn't him using the Force. Like, I think Grogu is still in a place where he is only comfortable using the Force in certain scenarios with certain people around who maybe are already aware of what he can do and so forth.
And or those rare times where Mando's hurt or somebody like that, and it's like, okay, I gotta toss him right out.
Yeah, but in those situations, that's adrenaline. That's different. I'm just saying, like, as far as like him sitting in the office in the chair, spinning himself around, he's around people who
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
He's capable of doing.
People he's comfortable with.
Right. Yeah. Nobody where they are now is really aware. You know what I mean? That they're dealing with somebody with Jedi training, or that is, has knowledge of the Force or whatever. So
I do like to see Bo-Katan kind of like cuddling up to him. You know what I'm saying? Like just, let's get right, little man. Stuff like that. Kind of seeing the tribe kind of connect to him. You know what I mean? Like the Forger also. Like I like seeing that. Outside of just Mando.
Yeah, he is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
He's a foundling.
Fully.
You know what I'm saying? He's a foundling. He's one of them. So, now he got to step up and do his trials. He steps up to do his trials. He tells my man, I know what you can do. And it's okay. And he gives him the okay. You're among people, it's okay to show, what you're capable of doing. So he does. Bust a flip.
Bust two flips.
Pop. Slim.
All three. I was like, oh, rapid fire.
Pop. You about to get all of it. And even little man's father, Paz Vizsla, was like, don't speak if you don't know, Slim. You know what I mean? Shut your pie hole, dog. Right before little man gets snatched up, dog.
Okay, hey, Slim.
Look, when that chicken bird terrorist,
when that Bojangles 6-piece came flying over there,
a 6-piece? That's more than a 6-piece out here.
That's like a 2,000 pieces.
Probably get a Bowberry biscuit out of it too.
Swings down and picks Slim up and just takes off, and it's like. They're like, nah, don't shoot. You might hit the kid. He's going to kill him. That's what happened last time. We shot him and he killed the joint. Dang.
I was like, dang, what? Last time?
Yeah. And the joint just like goes beyond their, like, it's almost like the joint knows, like, hey, they can't fly but so far. They can fly, but they can't fly but so far. And clearly that joint is fast. Because it's out doing their little jetpacks for sure.
Smoking.
Yeah, so they give chase and it's a no-go. But Bo is able to, she jumped in her ship and is able to follow it, find out where it is, come back, report on it. This is where it is, blah blah blah. All right, man, how we gonna get up there? That's too high. I used to train. I used to climb mountains like that all the time. That was where I did my training. That's nothing. We can do that easy.
Light work.
Like, oh, okay, you got some training. Okay, you know what I mean? And then
about that life.
Forger's like, all right, this is what we gonna do. This is who's going. Is this how they going? Is this when they going? So they form a party. Bo, you leading? Jump in the ship. She gives them the details. What we can do. We're going quiet. We'll go low. And we'll just climb up the joint. Cool. They go to take that on. Grogu gets to go see about this armor. What is in that joint? Hey, listen, I ain't gonna lie. I thought she was making Slim a helmet.
I did too for a second. The whole round,
I was like, nah,
is this the top part or something? I was like, but it's too soon. He can't get a helmet. He can't speak it yet.
And all that scene made me is looking forward to is him getting a full set.
Listen,
like just seeing the helmet placed
100%.
There's somebody made a fan artwork of Grogu like in the full Mando outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want it. Before the show is over.
Clearly they're gonna do it. The question is, does it happen before this season is over? And I don't think so.
Nah, not before the season is over. Nah.
I feel like that'll be like a series finale moment, maybe, or something like that.
Assuming they get that far. I mean, look, my man really be babbling and cooing. Like there's no words coming out of Slim's face, and I just don't know. I don't know. Feels like they should work on that. Like I like this is the thing that's weird to me is like they are teaching Slim how to use the Force, how to navigate the stars, and nobody is teaching this dude words.
English. Teach him English.
That's one of the things that's supposed to be. Yeah, you got to teach yourself that comes natural.
Hey, dog. You are teaching Slim to flip and fire darts. Can somebody sit this Slim down with a book and be like, look?
But the thing is, he understands. So there has to be, I don't know, there has to be some form that when you guys say, hey, listen, you need to speak your words. Like I don't know what it's going to take for them to do it.
Is there a part of you that feels like he can talk and just isn't?
It wouldn't surprise me. Maybe just because, maybe because he hasn't been given permission. The same thing, I'm saying like how Mando, when he was timid to use his abilities when he was in the fighting, when he was trying to spar with the kid. Maybe it's one of those things where it's like, I know you can understand me. If you can talk, I need you to talk to us. Like something along the lines of that. It's stupid, yes, I know, but I feel like they're going to end up using some type of moment like that. I don't know.
I mean, look, they used the moment with the armorer in the forge to flash back to Order 66 happening again. And that was the same thing that happened to Mando. When he went in and she was using the forge. He had that same kind of a flashback. And it looked like, I don't know, I'm like, oh, when they forged in armor, that joint put him under a spell. Like Grogu looked like he was getting
he was in a trance.
Drunk, high, something. Like, what's happening to my man? Like, is he falling asleep?
The noise and the sparks was bringing it all back to him, something.
But you know, we get to see what happened to him, and them, hey, get him back to Kellen, is that the name? Played by my man Jar Jar Binks.
That's like redemption.
Yeah,
at least it wasn't Jar Jar.
But I think it was Jar Jar. I think that's whose ship they got on.
Oh, okay. I'm about to be like,
because when they crash landed, and they got on like a Naboo,
the Naboo silver,
fighter,
the nice shiny silver,
But those were like Naboo soldiers that came out, or like the Senate, whatever soldiers that were like, take the ship, it's ready to go.
That actually, that was pretty cool. Because outside of the original, like anything, like obviously the N2 ship, like we haven't, when they brought that in, it was like our first time seeing anything remnants of Naboo since the prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
So, like,
but I mean, we're flashing back to Order 66, and this is, that's where they were when this happened, and it kind of makes sense that's like either the Queen's, that's either Amidala's joint, or it would make sense that it would be Jar Jar's. Like, who else would have another ship there?
Yeah, because it would definitely be somebody on the Senate and all that kind of stuff, and that's who they were. And those are the ones we know. So yeah, that's the one that makes the most sense.
So this right now,
and with him being in it, so
believe that in some manner, Jar Jar Binks is responsible for Grogu making it out.
Or redemption.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be mad at that.
That's where I'm at. That's what I think is. That's what I think they're doing. And it was cool to just kind of see them. Now the questions are, like you brought up earlier, Jokes. Why is Grogu so important? Why does it seem like Grogu specifically, like, get him to them, get him, he has to be removed from here. Right. So is there some relation to Yoda that's like, nope, this one we gotta save?
And that's what I've been getting. Like, I feel now there's a whole reason why we've been doing the whole clone thing. We've been talking about the clone genetics and all that, and we went back to it for a brief moment, and we've kind of left it on the table again. What if maybe, and like obviously this is super way out there, that Grogu maybe is a clone of Yoda, but obviously maybe they're not trying to. Maybe the idea was they weren't trying to grow him to be Yoda. Maybe that was one of those type of things where I forget the original Jedi that set forth the cloning process with the Kaminoans. I think that's how you say their names. Kaminoans. Thank you. Somewhere in the ballpark. When we made the original clone troopers, what's to say that maybe there wasn't at some point they did a clone? I don't know. Far-fetched, way out there. I know, but it's just trying to narrow down why Grogu is so important.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. I think I'm gonna go with this one. I think you're really reaching on that.
I'm going to,
but they're look, we've only ever seen 3 of their kind. Mm-hmm. If you include Grogu, right? So we got Yoda and Yaddle, and then there's Grogu, and so the question of where did Grogu come from? We don't even really know what their species is. We don't know how or why, they might be important. It could be that they have something to do with it. Like
I think that's also what it is. I think they're just like super force sensitive, and it's something. That's why Grogu was special, to make sure we got him out of there. Something to have to do with how special in tune that race is with the Force. That's just what I'm thinking, but I'm not confident in it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not saying there isn't a gap somewhere in my knowledge of what's going on to think that there could have been some sort of a plot way back when to try to get their hands on Grogu for some sort of force-sensitive cloning purposes. But what's odd to me about the entire cloning thing, as far as, like, right now, what it feels like they're doing to me is they're trying to clean up what happened with the third trilogy and Snoke and the whole cloning thing with Sidious and what have you. Now, knowing who the Emperor is, knowing who Sidious is, knowing how intimate his knowledge is of Jedi and who they are and them training people and so forth, you would think, all right, if this whole cloning thing is his idea and he wants to make sure that he's got clones so he can live on or whatever, why Grogu? Again, that could be the thing, like what you're talking about, saying, where it's like they're so powerful with the Force as a species, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. Or that, something. Again, who knows? We don't know. And so I think that's part of what it is right now, is that I think that the show is beginning to do what I needed to do in terms of leaning more towards giving us some sort of an answer of why Grogu is important, right? And how Grogu has been important since before the first episode of The Mandalorian. Okay. You know, how they found out about him, why they're after him for the cloning purposes and so forth. They had to know something about him previously, in some manner. So, you know, look, we get our flashback. We kind of see how he escaped in that moment. We don't know where they're going. We know they hit hyperspace. Where are they going?
Right.
Where are they going to end up? Could it be Naboo? Maybe. You know, I don't know that Naboo would be a safe place to go.
Yeah, not right now, nah.
Under the circumstances. However, I don't know how prevalent the Empire might really be in terms of dealing with like Jar Jar's people, like the underwater aspect of Naboo. So maybe, but you know, again, now I'm like, all right, next episode they're probably not gonna do it, but I didn't know where they went. You know what I mean? Where were they headed? But we get that, and we cut back. She makes him his armor, gives him his first piece of armor, which is cool because it matches Mando's armor, and I think that's dope.
No, it's his second piece.
He's got the little
it's his second piece of armor.
His second, because he has the chainmail.
Right.
So he gets the second piece, and it's got the same mud horn, which is cool. That joint is as giant as his chest. I don't know what he was doing.
Don't cover his whole frontal side. Like
it was a chaining day. It looked like
just, you know.
Be weighed down, like after a while, like you just start.
My man out there looking like Flavor Flav with the giant.
Yes.
I don't know where Slim is keeping that on his person or how, but you know, whatever. Sure. So our rescue mission. So they go out. They finally get there. They start walking, and they're like, all right, we can hide under here. We'll be outside of view. And that's at the top of the peak. If we stay under here, we set up camp. They won't be able to see us. First light, we'll head up. All right, let's hand out the food, hit the rations. I'm going to tell you what. I know this answer the question for me, Shawty. How do you eat without taking off your helmet? Which again, it's like, okay, she's playing ball.
Yeah.
She's on board. She's following the rules. My man said, you don't. You go somewhere else. You get your food. You go off and you eat by yourself where nobody can see you. And, you know, take off your helmet, which I think is a thing that they haven't done a good job of making sure that people understand that it's like, it's not that you can't take your helmet off at all. It's that you can't take your helmet off in front of other people. Like, people are not supposed to see your face. And you know, if you're paying Katie Sackhoff, you gotta give her screen time.
That's some screen time.
You gotta eat in this joint.
I thought it was cool in that moment for the big dude we don't like to kind of be like, nah, you stay here.
Business.
Yeah,
you're leading the group. Yeah. You get to stay by the fire.
Right. I thought that was cool.
I mean, again, I just think that is it's just a recognition of the chain of command. Right? So I think that is, I mean, like, when they showed up 2 episodes ago and they said, like, have you removed your helmet? You bathed in the waters? Then you want us. As long as you, and everybody came up and was like patting her on the back and like, hey, yeah, you want to, you know, whatever. It's like, when they accept you, they accept you. When you're out, Slim, you're out. Like, that's
out.
Just
no ifs, ands, or buts.
So them showing up and being outcasted was straight up like, hey dog, you don't belong here. You can't come here. You're not one of us. Once it was agreed upon, like, no, they really did it. They went to the waters. They helmets on and haven't been removed. They one of us. Everybody was like, for real? Bet.
Let's go.
And everybody's good. And so literally immediately it's fine. It's like whatever beef or whatever they may have had between their parties or their clans or whatever, that's water under the bridge. Like, yeah, I know what clan you were with, but you with us, so you one of us now. You know what I mean? You in here. So him kind of giving her that space. Their essentially high priestess said she's in charge. So him saying, no, as the leader of this group, you get to stay by the fire. She just kind of accepts it. Like, I guess I am leading this group. And yes, she does have that kind of experience. And that to me means that, yep, not just that hunting party, but other people when they get back, those tales, like what she knows, her knowledge, what she's done, will follow her. And she's beginning to me to work her way truly into the leadership position that she thought she had just because of what her namesake was. And that she thought she had because she did have ownership of the sword, but didn't earn it in a battle. And I really feel like we're at a point now where she's either going to have to earn it, and that means she's going to have to fight Mando, or they're going to decide that it doesn't matter and you don't have to have it to lead the people. Because they've been following people without it anyway.
True. Very true.
Right? So, you know, they go, they lead their mission, they eat, they start climbing, they get to the top, and my man has a panic attack. Like, we up here, I gotta go,
gotta get in.
Eat signature. My man just jumps. Like, oh, and he's like, wait, it's my son. Like, oh, okay.
Makes
you could have mentioned that. You could have mentioned that at first. Like, okay.
Well, so he makes the mistake of going forward, and them little baby birds is hiding up under there. Giant baby birds. Trying to pick my man apart. And the mother shows up and hawk spits this very dry child out of his mouth.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right, son.
Yeah.
Why was that boy dry?
I don't know. It made no sense. He should have been covered in giant
whatever
bird dinosaur insides. Like, he should have been gross, slimy, all that, because it definitely hocked him up.
He should have been chewed up, ready. The mom was prepared to feed the babies. He should have been like chewed up and like
was he like in a little pocket somewhere inside a lung or something crazy? Like, it was
maybe.
I don't know.
This isn't
came up there flying and screaming. Oh, hold on a second. Okay,
coughed up a
this
lung.
Biology. You know what I mean? Like, a little dry mouth pocket. That's all.
Something.
Little dry mouth pocket. I do want to say that I did definitely notice the other little helmets that were up there. Like, oh,
because when it first got up there,
time that it's happened, but
yeah. But when it first got up there, I saw the helmet. I was like, oh, he just tucked underneath of there, ready to be picked up. And I was like, oh wait,
no, because that wasn't his helmet, so I knew that.
Yeah.
That helmet was a completely different color because Slim's helmet was blue. That helmet was like brown or red or something. And definitely there was like flies or something buzzing around that joint. Like, oh, it's probably funky up here. We have a chase scene. They take off on their jetpacks, and I'm thinking, you know what? I think Mom's just gonna try to outrun them again.
Yep.
He's about to get low. You know, they have a little bit of a fight. They manage to subdue the creature, fire the bolo shots around the wings. Mando saves the child. Bo-Katan's the one who latched onto the giant birdadactyl's face and stabbed it with something.
I know if he grabbed it in the eye. If that bird would have grabbed it in the mouth like he did Paul or whatever, I would have, the roof of his mouth with that flamethrower would have been charcoal. You gonna let go of me?
Hey, listen. flame broil. I'm talking about call the colonel.
Hey, look, straight
We about
Captain
to eat.
Crunch. Straight Captain Crunch, the roof of that mouth.
Straight up.
All the way up. You gonna let me go.
But yeah, so they make their rescue. My man Paz grabs his son, pulls him close. They get back. Mando runs out, grabs Grogu, picks him up. Hey, buddy. We bought you 3 more foundlings. How?
Did they all fit in that one damn ship?
Hey, dog, listen to me. They were
agree.
about that. I was like, oh, that shit big as I don't know what.
It's like when they was in her ship beforehand, when it was her, Bo-Katan, Grogu, and R5, like they even seemed like they were kind of snug
But
in there.
here's the thing, they did, but I feel like that's just the cockpit.
I agree. But still, it doesn't like it have that much space.
Still don't seem big
Them
enough.
3 big ass birds.
The 3 big ass birds and all the Mandalorians getting off that jump. I was like,
But they were struggling trying to get to the door. They were so big.
Like, dog, listen.
I wasn't expecting that.
What are they gonna do with them joints?
Oh, they're gonna train them.
Hey, they can train
Because
them.
they're about to be flying on them joints,
Yeah, that's the only reason.
riding their backs.
And they're young too, so they could, train them and break them in and everything. Oh yeah,
Like, dog,
flying Mandalorians.
how long before Grogu is best friends with one of them joints?
It ain't gonna take that long.
One of them joints is definitely gonna try to eat him.
Two
But, like,
episodes, man.
And he gonna try to eat them
episodes
back. He gonna force choke one of them.
Can I tell you that that was the most unexpected thing I have seen in this entire series?
Yes.
There was no. I'm relatively difficult to surprise. There was zero part of me that was like, oh, they about to get them little chickens. They about to bring them. They about to have them. No part of me.
None.
I felt bad for
Listen,
a second.
when she said, I brought you 3 more foundlings, I thought it was some other kids up there just driving.
So did I.
Coming home, dog.
I was like, oh, I bet they found some others. That's dope. No, these 3 dino chickens come out.
Make some dino nuggets.
Hey,
That wasn't
All right.
close.
I imagine they're gonna put them to good use. That's where we are.
Yep.
All right. Anything else y'all want to say about this episode?
no, I like the end. How it went off. I like the close with her. She lost that one shoulder piece of her armor when she was trying to get the kid back while she was flying. And she just kind of sitting there staring off the space and asked if she can get the, I can't think of the creature's name
Mythosaur.
now. Yes, but
Mythosaur.
the Mythosaur on it, and have the Night Owl on the other one. And Forger tells her, yeah, that's a Mandalorian thing. Of course you could have it on if you want it.
Like, it belongs to all of us.
Yeah.
She's like,
Yeah,
nah.
so
Like, what if I seen it? She's like, I
Well,
seen
yeah.
it. Once you start to walk away, you're gonna see a lot of things.
No.
No, I synced it.
I synced it.
Nah, but I'm trying to tell you, like,
I visually, with my
Do you
eyes,
understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
I visually, with my eyes, saw this thing in the living waters.
Flew right past it.
Yeah, I mean,
This is the way. Okay.
this is the way.
Okay, you don't get what I'm saying. Okay. Yeah, just
Nah, I think she does get it though.
yeah, that's what I'm getting. She does. I'm just being stupid.
I think she believes it. And I think that means that she's gonna back her when it's time for her to take over. I think somehow she's but like, look, all of them, I imagine. I don't know. Like, it's highly possible that none of the rest of them, besides Mando and Bo, have ever been in the living waters. Ever. Like, Mando clearly had never been in them. He didn't even live on the planet.
Yeah.
He was walking away and being away. He did the creed. He said it, but he didn't do it in the living water. He just had a regular old baptism.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, for any of the rest of them, even if they live going to living waters, is almost like a birthright that was maybe only given to like maybe Bo-Katan and her direct descendants or something. Like, it wasn't maybe something that everybody got to do. So it might be that like, they actually went. They actually got in the living waters. She said she's seen the thing. Like, maybe it really is that she's meant to lead. You know what I mean? Or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all of what she's been through and all of the strife and the infighting and the war and whatever. Well, maybe it really is that, like, this is... Now she's just like, yeah, because this is the way. I think it's cool to kind of see Bo-Katan get to a point where she's not an outcast.
Agreed.
I think that's pretty dope in this very long running storyline of hers. I think it's dope to kind of see it seeming like it's coming full circle. I'm beginning to feel like this is as much her show as it is Mando's, in a way of giving people closure, if you will, on those chapters that they just, from Clone and seeing those things. So I do think that there's a possibility of some level of a civil war that still takes place, or all the people that left her wherever they went, whatever they're doing, right? They're there and they have this covert, but if my man is getting ready to be back in action somehow with the cloning thing or whatever, then they got to be going after something. And again, it looks like we're looking at, the birth of the First Order, right? In some manner. And so for me, this can't be leading anywhere except to another season. Like, because you're not bringing anything to a close, right?
Yeah.
I feel like by the time the 8th episode of this season is over, we're going to have more questions. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But at some point, they're going to have to leave where they are. Like, they can't.
Oh, they can't stay
there.
They can't. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So where they go, why they go.
Destroyed. I thought that was going to be the perfect place for the Mandalorians to go to.
I can see them heading back to Mandalore. On some reclaim our home. Now they know they can actually go back. I can see something like that happening.
I could see it. I guess the question for me is, why haven't they already? Like, why wasn't that the first thing they talked about? Like, yo, we can actually go back. And so unless there is some reason from a leader or a mythical perspective, some story, some legend that's, we have to get the thing, or we have to go, whatever it is. I don't know why you do. And because we're no longer on the journey of making Grogu a Jedi and Grogu getting a lightsaber, and because we're not on that journey anymore, the show really is about the Mandalorian. So what is that next step? Where are we headed? And again, at the end of the last episode, I was like, I just don't know what the point is. And now, because we're beginning to see some of the loops close, like we're beginning to see Bo-Katan come around full circle. We're beginning to see Grogu really be accepted into the fold of being a Mandalorian. Like, to me, it's like, oh, well, I guess that's where this is going. Like,
I agree. Yeah.
At some point, that's what this is about. This is about Grogu becoming a Mandalorian, and or, the idea of that sword goes back to the Mandalorian Jedi.
And I think also with those, it's all about rebuilding them, because they're so separate, and a faction here and a faction here. It's like rebuilding their people.
Extent. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that I think maybe Bo-Katan is the person who's going to bring it all together. Mm-hmm. But I also think, again, remember, the person who built that sword, where that sword came from, was a Mandalorian, but also was a Jedi. And
that's Grogu.
That is Grogu.
I don't know if he can wield that Darksaber though. It's kind of
Shoot.
a little too big. Even Yoda had a small one because he was a small lightsaber. I'm just saying, like it's built for a human-sized person.
I mean, here's the thing: the waiter again, like Bo, was wielding that thing like it wasn't nothing. And the story behind it is that like you have to become one with the kyber crystal. Like it has to know you. You have to know it. Mm-hmm. She has that already, which again is another thing that I think. Look, a lot of that going back there and doing all that, and her getting her hands on it, to me was just like, all right, don't forget, she's not new to this. Mm-hmm. And for people who, you got to remember, there are a huge number of people that are watching this show that have no idea who Bo-Katan is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Never heard of her. Don't know anything about this Darksaber. Don't know anything about, like, never watched Clone Wars. Haven't seen any of that. And it's available to them. You know what I mean? It's on Disney. It's all there.
They might not just know the time
and see it, right? Mm-hmm. But they don't know that, right? Yeah. So those little subtle things of like, okay, she shows up to save Mando and it's stupid because he already be dead already. We have to find a way to have her wield the sword so people can see that when he just got done wielding the sword and he's still gone.
He's struggling.
Got whooped.
She picked that joint up and went to work, looking like she's been training with it. So people have to kind of be reminded of that. And to me, that means that, like, yeah, that ain't the last time we're gonna see it. We gotta see it again. Mm-hmm. So and the way that they came back at the end of the other episode was kind of like, okay, Paz Vizsla, big dude, he already challenged once for it. He lost, but he challenged, so he clearly thinks I'm the big dude, I should leave, whatever. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't seem like that anymore. He's not in that place now, and he's got respect for them, and some of that respect maybe just comes from the fact that, like, they actually went and bathed in the waters, and they really are part of the creed, and they whatever, because that's, at the time when they had that fight, he didn't know that Mando had removed his helmet.
Mm-hmm.
He admitted it to her, but that's, so who knows, man? Like, you got to remember that they are literally living like in the foundry.
Mm-hmm.
They can make Grogu a hilt, a saber. They could build them all kind, any number of things. You know what I mean? Could be happening, but I think again, not being able to see where it's going now is more exciting to me because it doesn't feel as predictable. They just have to execute on it.
Mm-hmm.
So
agreed.
And you know what, man? I'm at a 7, but I can see it moving to an 8. It depends on where the rest of the season goes.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm at. Y'all in the same places?
I'm still in the 8.
I'll say I'm at a 7. Because like I said, I didn't hate the episode by any means. I enjoyed it when I was watching it. I'm more so frustrated. I know y'all are fine when I'm frustrated with not knowing where it's going, and especially with that last episode being so random and compared to everything else, and not having my explanation and still have to wait for it. It's just frustrating.
So what do you think happens in the next episode? Do you think the next episode goes back to the planet and the doctor? Do you think we get a mixture of the two?
I hope it's a mixture. I hope it's at least a mixture because we've discussed it. We got issues, not issues, but questions we want to get answered. What happened in this episode?
Weathers directed this episode.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. I think next episode, because that'll be episode 5. Yeah, it should be a combination of the two.
I don't think so.
Midway point. So
I don't think we're gonna go back to Coruscant. Maybe at least to the last 2 episodes. I think we're gonna stick with Mando, Bo-Katan, Grogu, the Mandalorians. I think we're gonna stick with that for the next few episodes and kind of flush out their next moves. Kind of like talking about maybe going back to the home planet. I don't think we go back to Coruscant until those last 2 episodes.
All right, let me ask a question. 4 episodes left.
Mm-hmm.
is Boba Fett in any one of these
No,
episodes?
no.
No, I'm not asking you what you want, Sin.
No, I'm answering the question. No, he's not in any one of these episodes.
Joe?
I feel like we'll get a visit, even if it's just them going to. They maybe talk to him about going to the Living Waters. I don't know if he wants to be. I don't think he wants to be
Or
redeemed.
because they're trying to unify all of the. Because he don't walk away.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say he doesn't walk
No,
away.
he doesn't. He doesn't.
Yeah.
But I think we'll see them have a conversation, at least about how they're rebuilding. Like they're trying to put pieces of the puzzle in place. But I think we will see him.
Okay. Well, you heard it here. That is a wrap on this episode of Spoiler Boys for episode 4 of season 3 of The Mandalorian. Let us know what you thought in the comments below. We are out.
Loading snacks.